Hey everyone! Welcome back for another wonderful episode of Wives Wine Down. I hope you grabbed your glasses, whether it's wine, water, juice, whatever's your fancy. I am Shonda White. I am your host, and I have been married for 12 years. And so I created this. Hey everyone! Oh, I see my special guest. I'm gonna let you in really soon, girl. Okay. I see y'all coming in. Hey, 𝗪𝗶𝘃𝗲𝘀 and sassy but classy. Okay, savage. But yes, thank you for joining. If this is your first time, welcome to Wives Wine Down. I am your host, Shonda White. And if you are returning, you my day ones, thank you so much for your support. You all have been showing up and showing out these last few weeks. I can't even believe we're on like month 2 now, and like we just getting started. So thank you all so much for tuning in. The guests have been phenomenal. You all have been phenomenal, keeping it real in the chat and keeping it real and having conversations. I created this platform because I remember when I first got married, I was kind of like, okay, I'm married now. Like, what does that mean? Like, what do I do? Like, or I would go through issues and I was thinking that I was all alone and by myself. Little did I know, oh, this is normal for marriage. And other couples go through the same thing. But there was no one who like really kept it real about marriage and what it meant to be a wife and what it meant to even have a lasting marriage. And so I created this platform for women who are married, whether you're married 6 months, a year, 10 years, 20 years, even 50 years, or whether maybe you aspire to be married, or you just always wondered like, what's it really like to be a wife, and like, where are the women keeping it real about being married? And so that's why I created this platform, and I appreciate all of the support, all of the shares. A lot of you all have been telling your friends, and you've made this like your weekly girl time and your me time, and you're telling your husbands or your boyfriends or whatever, you like, grab them kids, because I got to go to Wives Wine Down. So thank you all so much. I'm so excited. We have such a wonderful special guest, and I'm about to bring on, and I see y'all in the chat. Hey, Michi. Hey, Angela. Hey, Tora. All right, let me get her in here. I'm so excited. I hope y'all grabbed y'all's glasses, and make sure you drop a 1 if you're single and a 2 if you're married, and we'll have some special questions like, hey girl, hey.
How you doing?
I'm so excited to see you.
It's good to see you too. I didn't have on my red lipstick at first, and then when I saw, I was like, "Side, get my purse." I was like, "I gotta get on my lipstick."
Why you sound like my mama now?
Girl, I am such a black mama. Bless my heart, Lord.
Yes. You are. Hey everyone, come to the chat. Thank y'all so much for joining. I'm so excited. I don't even want to waste a moment because y'all know how Instagram does. But
Yes,
let me formally introduce my special guest tonight. 𝗪𝗶𝘃𝗲𝘀 is an actress, host, comedian, and influencer. She has worked in television and film for 14 years on shows like Fox 911, Netflix Atypical, and Showtime's Shameless. She is also a host of 4 podcasts. Count them, y'all. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay?
girl.
She's booked and busy. Even tonight, she's booked and busy.
Listen.
4 podcasts. Is this going to cause an argument? Mommy Confessions, Hold On to Your Edges, and here's the thing. You can catch Angel across social media sharing the ups, the downs, and the hilarity of being a boy mom. Angel lives in Los Angeles with her husband of 13 years and 4 boys. And not to mention, Angel and her husband, Marcus, are going to be on the new season of Black Love. Yay! So y'all make sure y'all put some hand claps in the comments and show your love for Angel.
Thank you.
Yes. And let me just publicly say, first, just thank you, sis, because I know you stay booked and busy. You literally have like, you're booked and busy tonight. But thank you just for being an inspiration for a long time, because, you know, a lot of people see your glow up now. They're like, oh, yeah, she's got 100,000. And I'm like, listen, Angel has been putting in the work for a long time. Like, so you're not one of these overnighters, and, you know, you are truly a person who has been putting in the work for a long time. And so I appreciate that. And I love you for that. And you're such an inspiration. And for those of you all who don't know, we have a lot of connections. We got our Kentucky connection. We got our Delta connection. We have so many mutual friends. Not to mention her husband. We all went to high school together. So it's just nothing but love tonight. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Shonda. I mean, listen, hustle recognize hustle. You've been out here beating these pavements. Okay.
Not like you.
And that's a lie. That's a lie. You've been killing it. So don't even sit here and tell that tale to these people.
Well,
Don't you dare.
I appreciate it. So let's get into it.
Let's do.
First of all, you are a boy mom and you have 4 boys. For those of you all who do not know, she has 4 boys and a whole husband. So her house is full of testosterone. So first of all, how are you doing? And what do you think seems to be working best for you and Marcus at home during this quarantine and this virtual work from home and virtual homeschooling, basically?
You know what? It was actually great to have Marcus home more because I felt like I had such a higher expectation of our connection when he was gone all the time because of work. So it's like the hours that we do have together, I'm like, they need to be right. So when they weren't, it would be a little frustrating. So with the quarantine, even though his work schedule went back to normal, but with the quarantine, the stakes weren't so high on him being home. We could just be in the same room and that would be enough. Nothing exciting had to happen, nothing spectacular, no romantic gesture needed to happen. It was just nice to have him in the room and then also to feel him as a partner in the parenting space, because a lot of time I take the lead on that just because I have more of a flexible schedule, and I'm just more of a nurturer than he is, so I'm just automatically more involved. So it was nice to just be able to know that I didn't have to be the end all of everything. Like if the baby was crying, I didn't have to be the one to get him. Daddy could go get him. And that was also sweet too. And I'll stop talking after this. It's just to see him to have more time to be able to bond with our youngest, because with our other kids, he'd have a little bit of time off and then he would have to go back to work because, you know, lights got to stay on. Right. Where with the quarantine, because he was working at home partially, I saw how Amar, our youngest, was able to just bond with him so much more than I ever saw any of the other kids at this young of an age.
That's a blessing.
It's sweet. And it was sweet to see, like, my husband had never got to feel what that's like to have a child, like, prefer you for real, for real. Like, Amar would sometimes be like, I don't want you, Mama. I want him. And I could see how it, like, softened my husband. I was like, oh, you don't even know what this feels like. Oh, this is great that you get to get this at least with the last one.
Right. I'm like, and that's number 4. It's not like it was the second or third. This is number 4.
Number 4. Yes.
Wow. Yes. That's a blessing. I always hear about how having children softens your husband a lot. Like everybody keeps saying, oh, just wait till y'all have kids. Eric is going to sign. I'm like, well, I'm waiting on that day, Lord.
You're like, okay.
Right. All right now. A little rough around the edges. Recently, you and Marcus celebrated 13 years of marriage. Whoop, whoop, which is amazing. I mean, I used to not think 10 years was a long time, but apparently in this day and age, it's a long time if you make it past 10.
Yes.
So congratulations. And I watched one of your videos and you debunked a few marriage myths. A few of them is basically marriage myths that it's basically like, these are not true. And you said one of them was like, your true love will know what to do to make you happy. That's not necessarily true.
Right.
Having kids brings couples closer. Not necessarily. Differences will ruin your marriage. I love that one because I feel like my husband and I, we have a lot of differences, but it doesn't always draw you apart. So for you, what is like one of the most important myths that you've realized for yourself? You know, whether it's one of those or just another one where you're like, oh, this was definitely a myth for me when I got married.
I would say there's so many. I mean, the biggest one, especially coming up out of church, you know, being someone who was raised deeply in the church, is that you have to do it like anybody else does it. Like, I think when it's great to have role models in marriage. I'm not saying that that's not a bad thing. It's great to see healthy relationships and how they function. But to think that there is a set roadmap that you have to follow in order to be able to have a successful marriage, I feel like ends up being a lot of times a marriage is kryptonite, because they're trying to fit somebody else's mold where the two people that are united, that just doesn't work for them. A big thing that like I do differently than my sisters do, all of their money is together with their husbands. They only have joint accounts. Me and Marcus, Do not. We have one joint account and then we have our separate accounts. And this is not to knock anybody that does do all joint money, but that's just not what worked for us. Like I had a business. I was like, my business account you're not about to be flowing up in and out of my business account. That just don't make no sense to me. And that's why finances, I would say, for us have never been something of an argument. Like it's like, yeah, we'll sometimes be like, why you purchased that, but it's never been a thing of a huge like thorn in our side, because we decided to do it the way that worked best for us. So that's probably one of the biggest things. My husband's in here watching. Hey, Marcus, he's been saying the silliest things this entire time.
I don't even want to start with him today. I'm so glad you said that, though. And hey, Marcus, we appreciate you coming through and showing support for your wife. I appreciate you saying that, especially about the joint accounts thing, because I remember my aunt, we went out to eat or something, and we were like figuring out who's going to pay. And I was like, oh, I can put, and I was like, y'all don't have joint account. It was like, such a big deal. And I was like, that's just not like, and it's when people have different money management skills or whatever, like sometimes, like you said, you just got to do what works for you.
Yeah. And it really, like, I have seen, especially when it comes to money, I have seen so many people have like so many like arguments about it. And that's just not something that I ever wanted it to be with us. And so we found a way for it not to be an issue for us. Literally, we have conversations about money, but arguments about money is not something that he and I have. And that's because we figured out the way to do it that worked for us.
Yes, I love that, especially because me and you both know we're a little churched. So
very, honey.
We've had to unbrainwash ourselves about a few things here and there.
Yes.
One of the things that you all talk about a lot is about like sex after children. And, you know, you and Marcus have been very open about how important it is, but how difficult it still is, you know, just making sure that you have time for each other. I mean, both of you all do a lot with your schedules and work. So one of the things I like that you said when it comes to sex, you said it has to be strategic and tactical. So I'm sure there are some wonderful fellow mothers on here and fellow wives even who want to know, like, you know, what are a few tips in terms of being strategic and tactical? Like, what does that look like for you two?
Well, the biggest thing is figuring out what is now, especially after having kids, what is your honest to God turn on now? Because it can completely change from when, especially if you all got together young, like me and Marcus did. We got together when we were in our 20s. So the things that could turn me on in my 20s, they're not working while at a 40-year-old woman. So having that communication of, sir, that's not gonna get it. Like, you're gonna have to do a little bit more for me. And then, so that's the biggest part of the strategy, because that gives him the opportunity to be intentional when he's trying to have sex. It's just like, sir, I told you some steps. Now you didn't skip step 1 or 2, so I don't know what to tell you. And then the other thing of strategic and strategy is, yes, you got to find a way to distract these kids, because the last thing that's going to keep me in it is hearing my baby beating on the door crying. I'm not going to keep doing what I'm doing if the baby is over here knocking and banging on the door. You know what I'm saying? So, like, truly coming up with an activity that will keep them, and knowing that, like, if you got kids around, that you can't be up in there no hour long. Like, no, you can't play that game no more. You got to get in there and get what you came to get. Like, go forth and get it in. So, like, it's just understanding that your sex life has to be, it will be evolving, and being okay to go with that evolution. Don't get stuck on the past, because it ain't the same. Your body ain't the same no more. You know what I'm saying?
Listen.
Your sex drive is different. Things are different. So instead of dwelling on what you used to be able to do, figure out what works now and be intentional about it.
Listen, somebody said, get it and roll out and get them kids. They said,
Yes, that's what you listen.
I remember you said on I watched your comedy show recently, Keep Your Distance, and you talk about like your thighs. Listen,
girl, I ain't got the stamina no more. What? I'm gonna end up getting mad, and that's the last thing you want me to do. Yeah, I done over here did some tricks. I didn't pull something in my leg. You ain't getting it for a couple of weeks then, because I gotta recover.
Exactly.
So let's do this easy bent over position. Get it popping, sir.
Get in and get out.
I'm gonna get mine. Okay, so go ahead and get yours.
Somebody said, yes, you got 5 minutes. And I know Jackie, because she has like 3 kids. So I know she knows all too well, just like you, like, you got to get it in. Like, that's some good tips, though. What is your turn on now, especially? And I'm so glad you mentioned it, because I got a cute question for that later. But what may have turned you on back then? Like you said, little young whippersnapper, like, I can't. Listen,
that was take me out to TGI Friday. That was my turn on. You give me some Jack Daniel's shrimp. You gonna get a little booty. That's not gonna work no more.
Yeah, somebody said everybody ain't got them mega knees that we used to. Listen, I don't know if I ever had them, to be honest. I'm gonna be all the way honest. But anyway, let's talk about how, like, with you two working together, and one of the things I've always loved about you is because you're a creative. I feel like our husbands are so similar. For those of you all who don't know, it's like Marcus and I were like really good friends, and me and Angel knew each other, and then we all became friends because we got married and stuff. And Marcus and my husband now are like good friends, and it annoys the crap out of me because they gang up on me. But I realized we have so many similarities. I'm like, Angel's creative, I'm a creative, and like Marcus and Eric kind of went like they had different career goals and aspirations. But now it's like Marcus has branched out alongside you, and like you all are doing a lot of stuff together. But as a creative, and even for a lot of people's lives, like the journey isn't always straight and narrow.
Right.
So was there ever a time when like maybe your husband struggled to see your vision for where you were going or wanted to go? And then like, what do you think has helped you to see and bring about this vision together?
I actually feel like Marcus has seen my visions before I see them.
That's
mate. This is right. This is why I don't call him my soulmate. I call him my purpose mate. Like he had tapped in a long time ago on what I was capable of and what he could see the Lord doing with me. So he's been more so trying to get me to see that. Like, girl, why are you over here thinking about this when there's this, right? So he luckily, in the beginning, it was just the world that he didn't understand because it's so different than what he was used to in his own career and everything. But once he started to see like not only like my own like work and like my level of skill, but also begin to like analyze other people and hear other people, he was able to see, oh, wait a minute, my wife got something like that. And I'm trying to figure out why she's over here trying to play things small. So he has been very he's so stupid. He said, true man of wisdom, she's lucky.
You're lucky. So humble, Marcus, so humble. Him and Eric, just humble as they want to be.
Humble. No, but I am lucky. He has for him to have a spouse that is a creative, he really does speak into that thing that he knows that has been put in me, and he recognizes is not the average thing. So he's helped me see my my path. I would say that.
Well, you already got a hashtag now because they're all like hashtag purpose mate. Like,
that's my thing. He's my purpose mate.
It is beautiful because it's so, when you said he sees that thing in me, it is sometimes, and you are a champion. Like, you will champion other people. You will push for other people. And sometimes it's hard to champion for yourself sometimes.
Yes.
But when you have a husband and a mate who will like push you like, girl, no, you can do that. No, you thinking there like, like, that means a lot. So I love that you said that, how he sees that thing in you, because sometimes it's hard for us to see it in ourselves, you know, especially as a mother. I can only imagine, because you start to just, you know, reprioritize things. But for him to see that in you, like, I just love that. Hashtag purpose mate. Y'all better hashtag that. Yes.
Yes, and then you know, in our careers, there's so many ups and downs. There's so many like hills and valleys. So that also can create self-doubt when you're just like, Lord, what is happening, right? So you do, especially when you're inside a career like ours, need someone that can be strong for you and be the glasses for you when you're weak and when your vision is blurry, to be like, put these on so you can see what I see, because you're all out of whack right now. So it's helpful.
That's good. Lexi said, I hope God blesses me with this type of love one day. Well, Lexi, we pray that it happens for you as well, because everyone deserves a purpose mate. But in the meantime, if he hasn't, you just focus on what that purpose is that God has given you, and just ride that thing until one of the things you shared in a recent video was how you've learned how to be a better supporter of your husband, and how sometimes, which I totally could relate to this when you said it, you said sometimes we can give more care and love to our female friends than our own husbands. Because, you know, we love our friends, our our day ones, everything, our church people that become like family. So what was it that led you to this realization, and what does supporting him look like now versus before?
You know, he had made a couple of comments, because I can definitely be very blunt and very straightforward. And I think I assumed just because he's a guy and that he could, you know, I don't need to put any flowers on it. Just take the words, execute, right? And there was a couple of times where I could tell what I said wasn't resonating with him. I could tell he was getting more so caught up in how I was saying it than what I said. And so I had to be like, okay, let me go ahead and check myself. Let me see. I'm going to give this a whirl a different way. I'm going to try and treat him the way, because I realized I would never say a lot of those things to my female friends. But again, I felt like I had to handle them fragilely, because they're my girlfriends, and I know like you in a fragile position. I can't be your shoulder to cry on, yada yada yada. But at the end of the day, they're not who I'm laying in the bed with. They're not the ones that I am sharing my deepest, darkest fears with, or my biggest dreams with. I'm sharing it with this dude. So I realized, you know what, it wasn't gonna hurt me to start like changing that. And I saw his response to me change. He now takes my suggestions like as like, okay, yeah, that's a good idea. Instead of it being like a thing of him feeling like I'm cutting him down, he knows that the reason why I'm doing it is really just because I see, like he sees in me, oh, if you do this thing, you about to be here. You know what I'm saying? So I just realized that, especially with husbands, sometimes we forget they be more delicate sometimes than we are.
You said a word.
Okay. They be delicate. And if they can't be fragile with us without us crushing them to death, who they gonna do it with?
Nobody.
Who? Because he better not try to find nobody else to do this with. Okay? All right?
All right now.
So I realized I needed to create the same space that he creates for me. I needed to be able to create for him, because that's the space I have been creating for my girlfriends. Like, I can make my girlfriends feel like they're Oprah in their lowest moments.
Yes.
Like, I can make them feel like, girl, whatever you about to do, the world don't even know yet. They about to be blown away. Like, I can, my girlfriends' weaves could be falling out their head. Come on, Naomi Campbell, walk it out. Do it. Do what you do. You know, I could do all of that, and then did not realize, you know what, my husband might appreciate that when he's feeling self-doubt, being like, bump those people. They're dumb. Okay.
Yes.
Wait until the 2.0 come around. Wait until 2.0 come around. Okay, they're gonna be wishing they treated you right. So it was just a learning curve for me. It really was. I haven't dealt with a lot of guys in my lifetime. I wasn't raised around men. So it's been just a learning curve for me, just to figure out guys in general.
Yes, me too. It's so, like, I have to remind him sometimes, like, I really wasn't raised, you know, because I didn't have a father in the house. So I'm not even used to being in the house with a man most days. And like you said, they can be delicate, because Eric tells me all the time, he's like, it's hard to be vulnerable with you. Like, it's like, because I'm the first person he's been able to be vulnerable with. So for men, they're like, what is this feeling I'm feeling? This feels weird, you know?
Right.
And so
Right.
creating that safe space. Somebody said it earlier about, I think it was Angela. Amen. She said, a wife is a husband's safe space. And I love that, because a lot of times we want them to create a safe space for us. But like you said, like how you say it and versus what you say, and like his response to you change. Because sometimes we want the response to change, but it's like, are we changing how we respond to them and how we get a reaction? So I thought it was so transparent and so honest. Like, I appreciated you saying that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's especially being a strong, independent Black woman. We just sometimes be out of pocket, and I get it. I get it, and it is. We all have we have a learning curve, and my husband has always been very much so like a very strong male figure in this household. But I have to understand that it's hard to, just like it's hard for me to always be the strong person. And so I don't have to be that when I feel weak. I don't have to be that with him. I have to make sure that he can do the same when it's needed for him.
Ooh, that's a word. I hope y'all taking notes, because I am. Ooh, that's a word. Because that's just, this is why I had this platform, because nobody else is saying these types of things. Like, we got to be real and honest. I know you all on your podcast stuff, but I'm like, we have to continue these conversations, because like, we have to keep it real and be honest about it. Because it's like, everybody has work to do, whether it's the wife or the husband. We all have work, and we all have things we learn. Tell us about a time when Marcus was there to really support you, not only physically, but like mentally and emotionally as well.
Oh God.
I mean, I know there's plenty, but one of story that I know speaks out, or that really stuck out, was when you were dealing like with your alopecia and stuff. But you know, if you want to share that, that's fine, or something else.
Marcus he's done a good job at supporting me. I even think, if I think of something like extremely literal, I ran the LA Marathon back in 2013. The only marathon I'll ever run. That 26.2 miles beat me down, okay? And I was running the marathon by myself, meaning I didn't have a running partner. And I just remember when I was like feeling like I wasn't going to be able to make it, I look up, and him and my son and our best friend at the time would be planted somewhere. And I could see them. They holding up a sign that says, you know, go that chick Angel. And then same thing, like get about another hour and a half in. And I'm ready. I'm like weeping, like I cannot do this anymore. I look up. They've planted themselves somewhere else, and me not even knowing that they were going to be there. And they holding the sign, you know, keep going, that chick Angel. And while, you know, everybody, I guess, has support out there, it still was like something just to know, because when I was running, there was points in time where I was just like, I am all by myself. Why would I do this to myself?
Why did I sign up for this?
Why would I do this to myself? Just no, I wasn't by myself. Yeah, I was the only idiot out of my family running the 26.2 miles. I have a joke. Listen, if I were a slave and slavery was 26.3 miles, freedom was 26.3 miles away, I'd be like, well, I'm just gonna have to stay.
I'm just gonna go on back.
Liz, I'm gonna have to go back. I ain't got nothing else in me. So just that's a way. Also he you know, he does a lot of things. You know, I have had a couple of big awesome opportunities kind of be ripped away from me. And it's a part of the course in this industry. You just never know what's finite. Didn't mean that my heart hadn't already filled up with expectation.
Right.
And he was like, you know, a couple of times while crying, he'd be like, you are like the strongest person I know. Like, I don't even, the fact that, because he knew that eventually I was going to stop crying. I was going to pick myself back up and keep going. And just the fact that he acknowledged, that's something that we talked about on Black Love, is that he began to acknowledge my strength. Because sometimes Black women, we can be put down, especially by men, for being too strong.
Yes.
Being too independent. And I don't like for people to talk about a quality that I've appreciated in myself that's gotten me to where I am today. Don't like I got to get to where I'm at because of that strongness. So like for you to now try to tell me that it's a bad thing, like you done made that up. So to have him acknowledge that, even in my weakness, I was like, that will always resonate in my head. He was just like, dude, I you just one of the strongest people I know, hands down. Like, so that's the way he's been there for me emotionally. That I can appreciate him for.
I love that, especially because people don't understand sometimes, like that whole independent. It's like you said, it's what got me to where I am now. And like for me, I didn't sign up. Like I didn't tell my donor to just go up and leave my mama for her to raise me by herself. Right. And then guess what? You're going to be an independent woman. Okay. I didn't sign up for this, but guess what? I had to do what I had to do, and the Lord made it work. And it's made me the woman I am. It's what attracted Marcus to you. So it's like you said, when people come for the independent, strong Black woman, it's like, but some of us, we just have to be strong because we just had to. Like,
like you said, that is so true, Shonda. We didn't create this beast out of wanting to flaunt it. We had to create the beast that you see us out of survival, out of necessity. And then you just like turn it off. Well, give me a second. Like, are you kidding me? Like, are you serious? You telling me the thing that I basically got a master's in for how long? I've got a doctorate in handling business. You telling me to throw that thing out the window? No, hold on.
It's like, okay, like, but I love that. Obviously, he creates that space for you. And somebody put it best, and they was like, you allow me to take my superwoman cape off. It's like, guess what? We don't want to be strong all the time, and we can't be. And so having someone and having a husband who can be that for us and like let us be vulnerable and take off our superwoman cape, it's like, to me, that's one of the best parts of marriage. Like that part is like, this is why people get married.
You're like, this is it right here, this moment.
Speaking of just being strong and just being a woman on fire and on the move, I love this quote that you posted recently for your 40th birthday. You said, while I'm not too old to dream, I am too grown to be wishing on a star. Amen.
Hey.
I have aspirations and goals that God put in me that I am responsible for putting work toward. So I'm giving myself permission to say no to some things so I can intentionally say yes to God's purpose in me. And you have done so much throughout your career. I mean, your resume speaks for itself. But despite societal pressures and timelines, and especially the limited narratives that they put on us, especially as Black women, what gives you the fortitude to keep pushing your purpose and pushing for that?
Come on, fortitude. I love it. I said, okay, go ahead and put that in now. Put that in now. You know what, Shonda? That's a good question, girl.
Thank you.
I don't even know. I don't know. Why am I still doing this?
That's honest.
Let's see here. You know what? There are certain things that I feel like I have. Of course, if my husband is watching, husband, come get the baby from my office door.
The baby has fortitude.
Yes. I think I have just been. Is anybody gonna come get this baby? Oh my God. I'm so sorry, Shonda. Let me just grab him.
It's okay.
He's just gonna sit here and cry.
This is the real. I see you, Lauren. Hey, girl. Hey, fortitude.
He's getting them finally.
Yes.
I'm like, why is he at my door?
Somebody said, Marcus, go get the baby. That's probably some of your angel wings.
Yes, girl. There are certain things I feel like I've been assured of. And listen, this is not to say that I feel like I just made the revelation here recently that I have been forcing some things that I didn't need to force.
Me too.
But I don't feel like I'm completely in the wrong direction. There's certain things that I feel like God said to me early on that I just have stood still on. I've like dug my heels in the ground about that. I'm just like, you can't convince me otherwise. Like, and I feel like he has shown me signs time after time after time that, like, Angel, you're in the right place. Don't worry. It's all going to work out. I do feel like here recently though, you know, everybody, which is it's corny, but it's true. You know, everybody calling the year 2020 the year of perfect vision, right?
Yeah.
I do feel like I have started to be getting a lot more clarity here recently of where I think some of my ego had me moving hard in one direction, because it was just like, no, this is what you're here to do. This is what you're going to do. You can't be doing this other stuff. And I had to sit and really think, like, okay, no, for real. Why are you shutting this door? This door that's been wide open. I mean, wide open. Why have you been like, close the door? And I had to realize that some of it was my ego of feeling like, well, no, I can't take that seriously. Like, no, I do this. I can't take that. And then I had to break it down of realizing that I had been putting some of my own blessings on pause and didn't even know it.
Talk about it.
I was like pushing them out because my ego was the thing that was keeping me in this certain direction, and realizing that, like, this other door was did not negate what God had told me at a young age. It literally still applies to what the Lord had told me at a very, very young age. I just, again, like I said, so it took me having to be like, Angel, get yourself together. Like, what is you doing? And so the fortitude definitely comes from when God says something to me. A lot of times he's very clear, right? And then I'll be like, okay, all right, down to me marrying that man, very clear. So that helps me move with a lot more not in doubt. It helps me move more shortly. But here recently, I was like, child, check your ego at the door and get to doing what you need to be doing.
You said a word right there. And somebody said, preach the truth. Come on, Angel. Somebody said, Samantha said, I see Shonda writing down. Listen, I take notes. Listen, I'm the host, but I take my own notes too, okay? I got my own notes prepared, but then I write notes while it's going on. I love it.
Shonda is the real deal.
Listen, this is not a game. And somebody asked, we are Brown 15. So how did you get out of your own way? And I think that also speaks to a great question, because it also leads to what was going to be my next question. Like, what type of encouragement would you give to a woman or a wife or even a mother who may feel like, oh, I'm XYZ to do this, or, you know, oh, I'm stuck in my own way? Like, what kind of encouragement would you give to them? Because you push through, y'all. Like, she's a bona fide wife, mother with 4 kids, like a boss in your own right, like an actress. You do a lot. So, which is not to say that everyone has to do all of that, but like when you talked about that ego, that's so key, because like you might be missing out on your blessing because your ego is in the way and you can't hear. So, you know, what kind of encouragement would you give to these ladies?
You know, check in. I had to kind of have a check-in with myself again to figure out why certain opportunities were coming my way and why certain things were being said to me, right, that I was kind of brushing off. Like, I had to check in with myself. I didn't need anybody else's voice in my ear. I had to figure out, Angel, why are you being this way? What is it? That's when I found out it all boiled down to ego. I was like, oh gosh. And realizing that ego was one part of it, but also what's the word, it's not shame, but also feeling like I don't have to prove myself to anyone, because that's the thing with the paths that were starting to split. A part of me was like, if I start focusing on this other thing, I'm not doing the thing that everybody else would think I should be doing. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, what does that have to do with you? What does that have to do with you, what other people think? And who says they're going to think it? But what other people's thoughts are have nothing to do with me. So I had to figure out, okay, what is this? Is this shame? Why do I care about what other people are going to say? You know what I'm saying? I have been this strong-headed Christian for so long because I cared not what the world said about my beliefs. You know what I'm saying? So why is it different when it comes to my career? So a lot of it had to do with self-work and really trying to figure out the root of why I was making certain decisions. And a lot of it just came like when, again, God talks really clear to me. So when things kept coming up, when people kept saying kind of the same thing around me, I was like, what is this? What is this? What is it? And I was like, okay. Let me really investigate and figure out why. So that's how I had to kind of do the work. I mean, it's so easy to brush things off. It's so easy. And that's what I have been brushing things off for a very long time. Like, that's just that. It ain't like, this is the big thing. And God was like, you will be big wherever the heck I put you. Like, you looking at the platform thinking the platform is what makes you big. I am your platform. So wherever I set you, you will be big at. And so that I had to get that together, because I was really putting the platform over God versus, listen, if I'm on him, it don't matter it don't matter what platform it is. So
that's good. Somebody said his voice can be scary when it's so specific. And some Naya Bryant, sorry if I jacked up your name, she said you will be big wherever I put you. That's a word. When you said, if I do this thing, I won't be doing what everyone else expects me to do. But why? That was my 2019. Like, I had to completely cut off the noise, because everyone's like, you should do this, you should be doing it, won't you start a podcast, won't you write another book, da-da-da. And I was like, God ain't telling me that yet.
Right.
Like, I'm not hearing that from God. Like, is that what y'all want me to do? And I had to just cut off all that noise. And like you said, I've experienced such peace this year, despite all of the chaos. Just that peace that you were talking about, I could so relate to that, because like, God was able to speak to me. Even Wives Wind Down being birthed when it was, I was like, I probably would have never done this, because I would have been scared or comparing myself and just all types of self-doubt.
Wow.
But that peace, and like you said, when he speaks, and then when things start to flow, you're just like, okay, God, I can't listen to what everybody, this will be great, you found your calling. I already knew my calling. I just needed to know, like, Lord, how do you want me to be used as a vessel next? Like, what is the next thing? Because that platform, people confuse purpose and platform sometimes. You can totally focus on the platform and completely miss your purpose if that's all you're focused on. So thank you for just being authentically you and just honest about that, because that touched, I don't know if it touched anybody else, I'm sure it did, but it touched me in my sha-na-na-na.
In your sha-na-na-na.
Woo! Somebody said God is still moving in this here 2020. Yes, he is. Because, listen, Angel's booked, y'all, okay? She's booked and busy. So I want to pivot to one of my favorite parts of Wives Right Now. You dropped some major, major gems. Like, I so appreciate it. Now I want to have a little fun.
Okay.
This is what I call just the rapid fire round, and just kind of like this or that kind of.
Okay.
I love the face.
All right. Let's do it.
Okay. And ladies and gentlemen who are out there, feel free to drop your responses in the comments as well, because I love to see what you all think. First one, toilet paper, over or under?
I do under most of the time. My husband hates it, and I don't care.
I'm like, will our friendship last through this? No judgment.
He gets so mad when I do put it over. He's like, "See, isn't it better?" I'm like, I don't care.
It's like,
under. It's just
it's weird, but no judgment. Hair scarf on or off during sex?
off.
Really? I'm surprised.
Listen. We had to make things known to each other. Marcus was like, if you could just take the bonnet off, you just you could take that off, that'd be great.
Do you put it back on after?
Oh, girl, yes. Yes. It's only on there just so he doesn't throw up on me to be like, this is having sex with a lunch lady.
Eric says I look like a what is that, a pirate sometimes. I'm like, you know what? Cook at home or take out?
Oh my gosh, take out right now. I just got so many kids and stuff to do. Granted, I'm going to be cooking right after I finish this, but I love a good takeout. I do. If money was not a thing, we'd be doing takeout every day.
Every day, yo. Lauren said the lunch lady's sexy. All right, lunch lady.
He wants some mashed potatoes.
Right. On the tray. Mark is talking about ugly ass bonnet. I can't stand him. If either of these were considered foreplay, which would you choose? Coming home to a clean house or coming home to a massage waiting for you?
Right now in life, a clean house.
Come on, somebody.
Right now, my house is such a wreck. I just want somebody to come in here and clean it. Listen, Marcus would say the same. If he came home to a clean house, no telling what that man would do to me. No telling.
Oh, Lord. That's how I'm like, listen, I love a massage, but give me that clean house.
Yeah.
Who's funnier, you or Marcus?
Marcus.
Oh, okay. Would Marcus say him or would he say you?
He'd probably say himself.
Probably.
Because he's arrogant. No, I won't call him arrogant. But Marcus is he's so quick. He just fires off stuff. I can formulate jokes better than he can, but like off the cuff, that man is stupid. He's so funny to me.
He can't come real quick. I guess he said a lot of practice since he was class clown. So yeah.
Right.
Who's more likely to be on diaper duty at night, you or Marcus?
Oh, me. That man can go weeks without having to change a diaper.
Not weeks.
Yes, it's always me. It is always me.
I figured. Do better, Marcus. Who takes longer to get ready?
Marcus.
Interesting.
They got no hair. Ain't got no hair on his head. But that beard, you would think he was getting tracks laid in it, getting highlights in it, getting a silk press. I'd be like, what are we doing?
He uses my blow dryer now.
to dry out his beard?
Yes. I'm like, what is going on in the bathroom? Excuse me. I can't with these beards. It's like worse now, like than before.
Girl, yes.
Bald and beards is like, but copy some man shit if you need some for your husbands or your friends and got some stuff. Marcus got some man shit for you.
Yes.
So you can get some stuff for your beard, and I think he's coming with some stuff with the ladies. So cop that. Shout out to you, Marcus, because I know he'll cuss me out later if I say that. Little joking during sex or not?
You said little joking during sex?
Yeah, like a little joke or here and there during sex or not?
No, girl, we got to get out of there. We ain't got no time to set up no punchline and set up in a punchline. No, we ain't got time for that. We ain't got no time for no jokes.
Right. Ain't nobody got time for that. Would you rather option A, argue all the time but have great makeup sex, or B, never argue and have mediocre sex?
Ooh. Oh, wait a minute. Either argue all the time and have. I would say B. Have mediocre sex. I feel like we've lived A before at the beginning of our marriage. We used to argue about everything.
Yes.
And we would have great makeup sex. But yes. I'm at the age now that I just don't have like, if you take all of my energy arguing, we ain't having sex.
Come on.
We just ain't doing it.
Yeah. Somebody asked about jokes during sex. That's kind of just like, I'm probably a dork and weird, but like I was talking the other week about how like sometimes if they're, especially if it's 90s R&B, I'll just start singing the song, or I'll do like funny characters. Like I'm just gonna stop. Anyway.
Funny characters. What is happening? What are you doing, Shonda?
I don't know. I'm not even gonna go. I'll tell you offline.
Okay.
Beyonce concert, because you know we a part of the Beehive.
Amen.
Beyonce concert with or without the husband?
Without. I ain't got time for him. Like the way I like to experience it.
Yes.
I need your energy to be where my energy is, and it's not gonna be
right.
So without, can't do it.
I love it. Besides Jill Scott's song Crown Royal on Ice, which I know you love.
Oh yes.
Which of these songs would be on your sexy Let's Get It On playlist first? Avant Feast or 𝗪𝗪 Say Yes?
Ooh, Marcus would say Feast. I think I would go with Yes. All you gotta do is say yes. Oh, I love it.
It still goes hard. Mm-hmm.
Yes, it does. Yes.
Who's usually the first to apologize?
Oh, that's 50-50.
That's good.
Yeah, that's 50-50.
You're the first wife I've had on that said 50-50. Most people choose one or the other. You're the first to say 50-50.
No, we've got a good rhythm at it. If we can tell it. If he tells me I've done something, I might try to justify for a moment, and then I'll just apologize. If it's in the same thing, Marcus has gotten really good at. He might deflect at first because he's good with deflecting, but if I'm like, no, really, he'll then apologize.
I love that. It looks like most people agree with you about say yes. Marcus, we got 5 minutes.
Listen, we got a song and a half.
And then this is just a last fun one that I love because I know how much we love Beyonce. If you could only pick one, 𝗵𝗃𝘃 or Black is King?
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Sorry. Well, you know what? I'm rocking my DST, so I have to say 𝗵𝗃𝘃 then. I just feel like, wow, I love Black is King, and I love just the visuals, the tie to Africa, the retelling, the reimagining of the Lion King story. It was just another level that we had never seen before. But that doggone 𝗵𝗃𝘃, like her ode to HBCUs, like it was just like a part. This happens in America, and the people at Coachella didn't even know. They were like, what? What is that? When she started singing Lift Every Voice and Sing, they were like, oh, is this a bonus track from one of her albums? Bonus! Right. I've never heard of such. This is amazing. Beyonce wrote a new song. They had no idea. Like
a bonus track.
I'm telling you. So I just felt like what she did, I feel like Black is King was truly for Black people, and not just Black Americans, but like the diaspora. But 𝗵𝗃𝘃 was for Black folk here, like the Black folk like you and me that grew up in Kentucky that were like, I'd love to go to HBCU, but this white college is giving me a whole bunch of money. You know what I'm saying? You better speak on it. Listen, they give me the money to show up. The being online, the Black bands, like all of that. It just was like, oh, I love to see how, even though she didn't get to experience that, being that she didn't go to college, that she still had an appreciation for it and wanted to bring it to this big old white audience that would have never known nothing about it. And she captured the full essence. It was, like you said, it was like, dang, I went to HBCU and I didn't, you know? Right, exactly. Yes, it was truly just like, girl, you are showing out right now. Yeah, it was so good. I said, and I would forget that it was mostly white people. So when they were paying to these flower kids, flower childs, and she's got people off locked up. When she started swag surfing. I said,
Yes.
It was so many things. So many things.
That was a perfectly crafted argument. Like, perfect. And on that note, grab your glasses. Ladies, grab your glasses in the chat. Let me know you got your wine or your juice or your water, whatever is your fancy. But grab your wines, and I just want you to wrap up. You have been incredible, Angel. Like, this was everything I wanted it to be and more. I appreciate you so much. Share with everyone your handles and like whatever you want to share, and then what you want to toast to tonight.
Okay. So you all can find me at That Chick Angel across basically every platform. If you search That Chick Angel, I'll pop up. And as Shonda mentioned before, I have several podcasts that you can check out. Here's the thing: is this going to cause an argument? Mommy Confessions and Hold On to Your Edges. They are wherever podcasts are found. Okay. And what do I want to toast to?
Yes.
I would like to toast to my friend and my soror, Shonda Brown White. I am just so proud of you. I love what you're doing. I feel like this is such I have been doing a lot of interviews here lately. This is the best one I have done as of yet.
Stop it.
No, you are so thoroughly researched and prepared. I just know that this is going to be bigger than what it is currently. And I'm just so glad that I got to be there early on and that you thought of me.
Oh, you going to come back?
I can come back. And Marcus will probably sit right here like what you saying.
Yeah. They're already planning a takeover.
Right. So I just want to cheers to you, soror, because I think this is great. I do think it's very much so needed. And I am proud of you for stepping out of your comfort zone. It doesn't look like it's not a comfortable zone. You look like you've been doing this for decades. So
I'll be scared.
You don't look it. It don't look like it. Okay. So cheers to you. And I just can't wait. And I can't wait to watch this grow and become something so big.
Thank you so much. Cheers. I'm going to drink real quick and then I'm going to cheers to you. I am cheersing to evolution because I've literally known you and Marcus, even when we didn't like know each other, like the way God connected us is like, there's so many lifelong friendships. So I cheers to you and Marcus and your family because you all are definitely a couple that Eric and I, like, we trust and we know we can keep it real with y'all. But I love the evolution of where I've seen you all come from, even from dating now to being married and having a full-fledged family, and just the evolution and the growth. And so I toast to that because it just goes to show, especially coming from a small town city, like with God, anything's possible. It's limitless. And so I toast to you two, and especially you and the evolution and the growth. And because I already know that a lot of Marcus's growth was probably when you stepped into his life because he upgraded, you know what I'm saying? No. Yeah. Marcus, you know we love you, but no, really, I do. I toast to the evolution of both of you all and the growth that I've seen and just the wonderful models that you all are today. So cheers. Cheers. Cling, cling, cling. Eye contact. All right, and with that said, we have look at that, 140 left. So to all of you all who tuned in tonight, thank you so much. Tell a friend, share a video, share a screenshot, whatever you want. Thank you all for tuning in. Please make sure you support That Chick Angel. She has a lot of great things popping. If you want to tune in, you're like, I wish Shonda would do this again. Guess what? We'll be here again next week, Wednesday at 8 p.m. for Wives Wind Down. Tell your girls, come back, let down your hair, relax, and just have a good old time. So thank you all for tuning in. And again, just have a wonderful, blessed, and just revolutionary week. And make sure you support each other. Support our sisters. Support what Angel's got going on. And tell your friends and tell your girls. Thank you, Angel. You rocked it. I appreciate you so much. And y'all have a good week. See y'all next week. Bye.